let's have a look first at Schlumberger. Okay. And I'm going to pop up the weekly chart. I already moved the look and feel in Thinkorswim to extra large. So hopefully we can see all of these pictures. We do see this very big downward channel that this chart has been obeying for quite a bit of time. So what I want to do is move out to the monthly. I like what 13 said about a potential fade coming up into that level, but we're going to see what the option traders are saying at this juncture. We can notice in the monthlies, we've been sitting very sideways. And when do we have did we have?
The Schlumberger earnings were this morning.
This morning. Okay. And so they're looking pretty good, moving up into a resistance zone and very likely to come back down into the middle of support. This is my thought. Now, for our ATR on the month, it is 590. And so if we go to the options chain, we can see that it's moved about $3 of that 5, and we're about 2.5 to 1 in calls. Okay, so a lot of folks are sitting on the call side. I believe that this is a great mean reversion trade. Let's pick the directional trade first.
Okay.
So let's say we move back down into the center. And let me do this again. Let's go back to the weeklies and look at the center. That's a daily chart, Missy. Operator error, sorry. We're going to go to the weeklies and we're going to see, this chart doesn't often move 7% in a day. And so we have to take a look at what happens when we have those gigantic kinds of moves. For the last time we had a really big move to the upside like that, it was way back in July. And I think the whole market was on an updraft then. And it moved really well into resistance, but never hit it. So we can do two things. We can do a sideways event in an iron condor, or we choose a directional trade right into the middle of the last move. And so what I'm going to do is draw a Fibonacci. And so what we anticipate is maybe the move back down into 40. And so let's think about how that might work if we think it's going to hold. Now, we could do something super easy and say, listen, I'm going to buy a flat out put for $23. Easily, that could work. Easily, that could work. What that gives us is the opportunity for pure, raw, upward trajectory on our options if this happens overall. Right now, it's going for... Some of these notes are hilarious. So
you got a good group here. There's no question.
Love it. I absolutely love my 11 o'clock time with you. So here we are looking at the 40 put. I like that for a nice clean space. And so we can do that. If we're looking for a more complex structure that says, Schlumberger is in a general downward track, and what we should see is a closer reversion to the mean. And we can go, we can choose that 40. Yeah, I don't know that there's any good put side action other than from a complex perspective to do this one. Now, what I do like here is the potential short iron condor. And that means I'm going to sell a short put, and I'm going to sell the short call, and it's going to be right up on the edge of that 45 level because I think we're right there. Now, normally I like to collect at least 20% of the spread. This time we're collecting a little more than that. It's a credit of 159. That means the break-even price on this option for March is going to be $46.59 on the upside. So if it breaches above that, you're going to do some triage or you're going to get yourself out of the trade. Because I believe in the seasonality of buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event that we have with the inauguration going, and that seasonality saying that if the front part of January is up into an inauguration space, it fades into a support structure after the fact. And since Schlumberger is already got a little bit of negative traction, I expect that it rotates down into that 40 level. So those are the two things that I am looking at from Schlumberger. I actually really like those. So I am going to capture that and put a few notes in it. For those of you who belong to Benzinga Pro, you can see that popping up in the afternoon.